Hi, thank you for staying with us. This is Good Morning Kenya, and today being a Monday, you know that we normally have the segment of transformative leadership, and today we have a transformative leader with us, and we will be looking at effective leadership as a topic. He goes by the name Dr. John Mukundi, and he is the director, Achievers College, Embu. Dr. Mukundi, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me in this particular program. I really appreciate, and good morning to our viewers.
It's a pleasure to have you on board. Now, if we can just begin with our topic, like directly with it, we're looking at effective leadership. So according to you, from just your eyes, who exactly is a leader?
Yeah, what I want to say is that a leader is somebody who really issues directives or direction and guides people in the way in which they should go, and also helps in decision making as far as his area is concerned. So what happens is that a leader is a person who leans from the front and then other people follow him. He doesn't actually issue instructions, but what happens is that other people will see what he is doing, a role model, and somebody like that is actually what we would call a leader.
A leader.
Yes.
Is there a difference between a leader, just a leader, and an effective leader?
Yes,
or effective leadership.
Not all leaders are effective. You realize that there are some leaders who are not effective, and therefore there is a great difference between a leader and an effective leader. Reason is because you realize that there are some leaders who don't give good decisions, who do not give good direction. We cannot call those ones effective leaders. An effective leader is a person whose results will be seen by the level of the decisions and steps that he makes. Yeah, so that is what I want to say. And there is also a difference between a leader and a manager, because many a times we say managers are made but leaders are born. But though we have a line of thought that also says otherwise. Yes.
Do you believe that leaders are born? Like there are people who are just born leaders?
Yes, we have a few people that are born leaders, and we also have some others who can make themselves leaders. Actually, you realize there are some people who are born, and some people will definitely follow them. You'll find some other people following them without actually even being told about anything. Like you realize that there are some people that you won't follow when you are in secondary school. They are not prefects, they are not anything, but just because of their charisma, just because of how they carry themselves, you realize what they tell you, just follow. So those are born leaders. But we also have some others that are not born leaders, they make them themselves.
All right. And on that note, we take a very short break. Don't you go too far, because when you come back, we'll be continuing with this conversation that we have today. Welcome back. Now, before we took that break, Dr. Mukundi was just explaining to us, there's a statement you made, which is a statement that is normally made out here, that managers are made, but leaders are born. But you explained to us that, yes, there are people who are born leaders, but you can also make leaders out of people that you might not have necessarily been born leaders.
Correct.
Yeah. Maybe what are some of the important qualities of an effective leader or effective leadership?
Yeah, and according to me, one of the most important qualities of an effective leader, first of all, is to have vision. You cannot really lead people when you are not visionary, because you cannot take people where you are not able to see. And vision is simply seeing the future in the present. So if you can be able to see the future in the present, then I think that is good vision. But the second thing that I would say is an essential quality of a very good leader is influence. You know, if you can, you tell people what to do and you are guiding them and there is no way they are following you, then you are not an effective leader. So you realize that for you to say you are an effective leader, then what happens is that you have to have that particular level of influence so that people can be able to follow you. But the other thing is about integrity. There are some other characters that you need to always have, like the integrity, honesty. You do not lead people in the wrong way, and therefore you need to have that, the integrity of the heart. Even the Bible says that David led people with the skills and with the integrity of the heart. So there is always that part of integrity in leadership. So every time you see things like corruption in leadership, they destroy the leadership. But also we are talking about the effective leader requires to be knowledgeable, because it is like you are influencing people and guiding people. And therefore there is no way you can guide people when you are not knowledgeable. We have seen some people who have been elected or nominated or appointed or even in church or any other place. They have gone into leadership without the knowledge of what they are meant to do and what the leadership entails. And therefore, such kind of a thing now becomes a problem, because there is no way you can lead people when you do not have that integrity. But more importantly is about decision making. You cannot have a leader who cannot make decisions, because life is about decision making. The best decisions you make, they will give you the best results, and the more your life shall move. And therefore decision making is quite key as far as leadership is concerned. And decision making is the art of choosing between alternatives. So if you can be able to choose between alternatives very fast, then we can say you're a very good leader. Yes.
From all those essential qualities that you've mentioned, what is the threat of not having such? You know, what is the threat for an institution maybe that is being governed by a leader who does not, you know, have such?
If an institution is led by a leader who doesn't have those essential qualities, there is some danger. Number one, you realize such an institution may not really be in a position to grow as expected. Assuming the leader is not making good decisions, and assuming the leader is slow in decision making, it simply means the speed of the growth of such an institution, especially of expansion, especially of cash flows or anything like that, it doesn't really move as per the expectations. You also realize that such an institution, again, may be living in a way that people do not move in a certain direction. They are not pursuing their visions. There is what we call sub-optimization, where everybody is pulling in a different direction. And you realize that there are some people, because they lack leadership, they will pull in different directions. And therefore the energies, instead of being pulled towards a certain common goal, you realize those energies will be pulled in different directions, and therefore that organization may not really move the way it is meant to move. But also you realize that the organization may lose even revenue and may have some cost impact as far as band leadership is concerned. And that is why we need to actually ask ourselves, do we have good leadership? Because band leadership will bring about some band cost, especially things like what? Especially things like when there is no integrity. It simply means that when the integrity is not there, then we may have losses, especially due to corruption, due to such kind of things, and that will bring the organization down. The cash flows, the assets will get lost, and all those other things, they would definitely not be taken care of in the organization. Yeah, such are the dangers that loom such a kind of an organization that may not have such a good leadership. Yes.
All right, now, of course, decision making is one of the very most important things when it comes to effective leadership. So when you talk about decision making, how do you go about decision making? For example, for someone like you who's heading an institution that is the Achievers College. So how do you go about decision making?
Yeah, decision making is one of the most important things. And as I have said earlier, decision making is that art of choosing between alternatives. You have two alternatives and you decide which one you're going to take. And decision making is quite important because you cannot live without a decision. Even coming here, it took a decision. Even talking, the topic that we are talking about, they has taken a decision.
True.
And therefore, decision making is what causes people move. The quality of your decision determines the quality of your life. That simply means even the life of an institution is determined by the decision making that they are being made in such an institution. And therefore, in decision making, you have to learn that art very well. Because some people just make decisions without thinking a lot about it. So the first thing is to ask yourself, which problem are you solving when you want to make a decision? Do you have a problem that you want to solve? Once you know which problem you are about to solve, then outrightly you gather some information. Because decisions are made effective by the accuracy and the vastness of the information that you have. It simply means if you do not have adequate information, you're bound to make wrong decision. If you have inaccurate information, you're bound to make also a wrong decision. That means you are supposed to make, to actually collect good information that will enable you to make right decision. Then I think the third thing that I usually do is to check the alternatives that are available. And then I ask myself, what is this that I want to solve? So if you check the alternatives available, the ways and the decisions available, then you can be able to choose the best alternative. And that information now assists you to choose the best alternative that you can be able to choose. And then from there you apply the action that you have, the alternative that you have taken. Once you apply, then you check whether if you made the wrong decision or if you made the right decision. Now, many people fear to make decisions simply because they think that they will make wrong decisions. Like you find people even not marrying because they think that they will marry the wrong person. But you realize that when you make a wrong decision, it is decisions again that will help you to make the right decision. So people should not fear making wrong decision because you can also make the right decision to get you out of the wrong decision. So those are some of the things that I may definitely see. Yeah.
All right. And now, being a leader, of course, is not a walk in the park.
Yeah.
You have tasks upon tasks upon tasks. So how do you go about prioritizing tasks as an effective leader? You know, how do you go about prioritizing tasks and also delegating responsibilities?
Yeah. As far as priority is concerned, I totally believe that we need to get to to know which priority to take by a number of parameters. One of the things that I will usually think is actually asking myself, what are the cost implications of the task? Because the cost is actually one of the key things that will make you choose a certain thing over the other. And you need to know that those things that have less tasks, that have less cost, they cannot affect you a lot economically. But those things that will have a bigger task implication, they can affect you and even your organization to go under. So as far as that task, which one should I do first? I think the first thing I need to consider is the cost implication of such a thing. Then the second thing that I want to consider is the people it is affecting. Like supposing you're in an organization and you want to close down a certain particular line, like you're in manufacturing. How many people will get sacked as a result of that decision? You have to actually think around and ask yourself, who are these people that will get affected by whatever I'm doing? And once you make such a decision, then you will be in a position to know whether it is worthwhile to do it or whether it is not worthwhile. Then also as far as the tasks are concerned, then you need to ask yourself, is it also legal or not legal? Because obviously you realize there are some things that will cause some legal implications and there are others that will not cause. So I totally believe some of those things are very, very important as far as prioritizing the task are concerned. But also there are some other techniques in which you prioritize tasks. Like, are they important? Are they urgent? And such kind of things are very important when you're thinking what to do first and what to do second. And once you ask yourself that, you'll be able to know which one comes first, which one comes second. As far as delegation, delegation is when I let somebody do what I am meant to do. And I think delegation is quite important because we cannot be able to do all the things.
You can't be hands-on on everything.
You cannot, yes. So I believe that delegation is important, especially when you want to save some time for yourself. Because, you know, there are some other important things that you need to do. Like I can delegate now teaching in Achievers College because I need to go and supervise. So that one is good. So when it comes to delegation, you look at what is delegatable. There are some tasks that are not delegatable at all. The responsibility is all yours, and therefore you cannot be able to delegate such tasks. Like, you know, I cannot delegate directorship and ownership. So it is practically impossible for me to delegate that. It is not delegatable at all. But when it comes to issues about you know, accounting, that is when you need to delegate. So you check, number one, the importance of a task to you as the owner, and what is the substratum of that particular company. What is the most important for that company? Like, you realize there are some things that are important, others are not important. So you do not delegate those things that they need you to do. And once you delegate them and people are wrong, then at that particular time you get it wrong. So I believe it is important to have such a guideline when it comes to issues about delegation.
All right. Okay, as we almost come to a close of this conversation for today, you know, when leading a team of people, of course, conflicts and disagreements are inevitable. You are going to at least, you know, have some conflicts or disagreements. So what is the best way to handle, you know, conflicts and disagreements as an effective leader?
there is no way we can have an organization with more than 2 people and there is no conflict.
Sure.
Even in families, as husbands who lead their families, they also have conflicts. In churches, we have seen conflicts, and in mosques, and even in organizations, small or big, we usually have conflicts. And conflicts arise because of so many things, because of even personality. Those things are everywhere.
Yeah.
And for you to be in a position to solve a conflict, I think the best way it is first of all to determine the cause of the conflict. Once you determine the cause of the conflict, you'll be able to know where to start. But also, it is important to hear the two sides. You know, there are some people who always listen to one side. It is important to hear both sides. It is important to know why the conflict is existing. Perhaps you even don't require to hear them. Once you understand the conflict, you'll be able to know what is the cause of the conflict, and you eliminate the cause, because it is causes that bring about the effects. And once you know that, you are able to talk to them, listen to them, let everybody have the fairness of being listened to, and then you set a platform in which they can be able to ventilate. And once they are able to ventilate, then I think the conflict will just go away. Like the recent conflict we had with the Gen Zs and the leaders.
Yeah.
You realize the president just gave them a hearing, and that was it. So I think one of the best ways to have somebody actually expressing what they have, then after expressing what they have, you listen to them, the actionable points you action them, and if they are saying this is what should be done, you do. What cannot be done, you do not do. It is an easier way of handling conflict.
Yeah.
According to me, that is how I do it.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, if you may just give us your parting shots as we finish.
Yeah, thank you so much because of inviting me. What I would want to tell my viewers is that leadership is what causes you to move to the next level. Decision making and influence is what causes you to grow your company to the next level. And every time you have good leadership, then you have good organization. And every time we have a bad leadership, we do not have a good organization. So leadership is key, and you can train leadership or you can be born with the leadership. Even in Achievers College, we can train you in matters leadership.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for gracing our show today.
Thank you.
That was Dr. John Mukundi, the Director, Achievers College, which is in Embu. Do not go too far, because Good Morning Kenya gets to continue, and I'll be coming back with another topic. And this time we will be looking at fake information or fake news. How do you go about dealing with fake news, especially in this digital era? Do not go too far.